All right, Daniel, whenever you're ready.
A 63-year-old woman named Claudia suffered from depression since she was 12 and has always had thoughts of not wanting to be here anymore because her condition was nonstop. Medicine and therapy did not help at all. Until recently, she underwent TMS treatment that healed her completely. She says, "The healing that came with the treatment has changed my life. Since TMS, my life has become an amazing journey of rediscovering for myself. My black cloud has gone away. I shared about TMS with my sister, who had a similar story as mine, and TMS for her as well. I recommend it for anyone who wants to stop suffering." Claudia is now having a normal life. So TMS stands for transcranial magnetic stimulation, which helps the brain to overcome any addiction or drug or alcohol addiction. Today I want to explain how addiction alters the brain as well as how the new treatment works. So we'll go over the brain and the effects of addiction on the brain, how the treatment came up and how it was tested, what the treatment is, and lastly, the post-treatment. Now I'm sure that some of us here know of someone that faces a certain addiction or any type of addiction, whether it's alcohol, drugs, or even the weirdest things like on my strange addiction, even facing depression. That all starts with the prefrontal cortex, where the constant thoughts are running through the brain. But when we make that final decision, that is where it is made. The prefrontal cortex is responsible for decision making as well as our cognitive behavior. So the front part of the brain, which is the prefrontal cortex. NIDA Director Nora Volkow states that we know from brain imaging studies that the prefrontal cortex is responsible for drug addiction. When that part of the brain is filled and comes in contact with dopamine and other neurotransmitters, it gives off pleasures, which is what we crave. And since we crave those pleasures, it forms an addiction. Now, the effects of addiction can ruin an individual's emotional state, motivation, and also feelings of pleasure. The emotional state of a person, such as feeling lost, guilty, and insecure, then that leads to motivation and beginning to not attempt many activities and also to not make an effort to focus on themselves. Then falling into depression is next. Now, how this treatment came up and how it was tested. At the time, TMS was only being used to treat depression, and was working very well. They wanted to see if this device could work on addiction by testing it on rats. So how the process works is a device is placed over the head and produces internal heat with lasers. So right here, the TMS, transcranial magnetic stimulation, the prefrontal cortex, where addiction happens and what we decide on. So that focuses right on the prefrontal cortex and produces internal heat. So the lasers produce heat. We're able to change the proteins in the neurons, which turn on and off the nerve cells. Jason Barney, the author of Lasers, Light Zaps Cocaine Addiction, states, "Turning on these cells wiped out the compulsive behavior, while switching off turned the non-addicted ones into addicted." So RTMS, which is repetitive transcranial magnetic stimulation, this is the therapy that is very powerful in reducing many addictions such as drinking, smoking, and any cravings. The U.S. National Library of Medicine identifies that a total of 8 studies were identified that examined the ability to treat tobacco, alcohol, and cocaine addiction. So these studies have proven that this treatment helps people with their addiction. Now, the people that go through this treatment not only have to have more than one session, but may also have minor side effects. The post-treatment for transcranial magnetic stimulation varies person to person. Not everyone feels the change at the same time. It is a slow process to go through. Sessions, or you go through 20 to 30 sessions over a 4 to 6 week period. After the first few sessions, the people begin to feel slight differences, such as having a better night's sleep and also a better approach to their lifestyle. The cravings begin to die down slowly as well. Post-treatment is very important because people are still able to fall back into relapse very quickly since the treatment is a slow process. So here, this is an actual picture of somebody going through TMS. And as you see right there on the computer, that's the brain. And the TMS system right here on the prefrontal cortex of the brain. Now that this treatment is getting more popular, and you all know of this and aware of this new treatment, if you have any loved ones who face any of this, you know how to help them and point them in the right direction.
Amber, what did you think?
Well, I thought the topic was great because it's like addiction and depression are like big topics lately. They're growing, and it was really interesting. I didn't know about that, but I thought it was good. It was like key that he told us about the prefrontal cortex and how it works and everything. Because if he had just said like lasers go into your prefrontal cortex, I would have been like, what? Like I wouldn't have understood the whole thing. And I thought it was good that that was at the first at the beginning, and then it flowed. I thought it flowed really well, and like the side effects was good to put in there just because it's like a medical thing. More eye contact is good, but I mean, it's nerve-wracking.
Well, all of us will be better when we're doing this more often and you get used to it. Although we are halfway through the term at this point, I'm kind of hoping that you guys aren't intimidated by the audience that you're facing and you become a little bit more engaged. Sometimes when you've got technical material, you have to read it. That's understandable. I appreciate that situation. I like the attention device. You got the story and the quotes from the woman who was going through the treatment and her life was turned around a bit. There's a good transition to what the topic is. That was fine. You do have a preview and a thesis statement that are a little bit jammed together, and I think that you need to clarify a little bit what your goal at the end of the speech is. I could tell that you got a series of questions that you want to answer in the course of the presentation, so it's primarily being organized topically by those questions. But in the long run, what is it that you want us to get out of this? I think that needs to be a little clearer. And it's not that complicated. You want to introduce us to what this treatment is. That's basically the whole point of the speech. But you just kind of identify what the topic is and instead of what the goal is, and I think that needs a little bit more work. Your description of the technology is okay. There's some reference material that you're citing. That's pretty good. There was some information that got cited that I thought was a little bit vague, especially when you talked about the 8 studies that have talked about its effectiveness, and you don't quote any of those particular studies. We don't get any statistical information on that. So I think that that's a place where we're maybe lagging a little bit on the data that could be presented to support your point. Like I said, it's organized as questions. I got the feeling that there need to be stronger transitions between points. It really felt abrupt when you were changing topics, and that you need to give us a little bit more of an opportunity to transition to the next set of ideas. The visuals are fine. I think that you illustrate a couple of points pretty well. I can see how the machine is being applied. I'd like a little bit more explanation about how the technology manages to change the way the brains are functioning, change the purpose of the cells there, or change the way they're responding to things. To be honest, it sounds like a little bit of mumbo jumbo that you would be getting from a quack medicine. Here's the machine that's going to take away all your weight. Just give me 40 treatments, and here's how it's going to this stuff. And so, anytime you hear I'm going to hook you up to a machine, it's going to fix your problems, I got warning bells going off in my head. That doesn't mean the technology we got plenty of technology that does great stuff. What I need is a little bit more explanation about how it does that stuff. How did they discover these kinds of things? And that feels where it's a little bit thin. I do think that it's a real topic, it's a real subject, but you need to kind of give it a little bit more weight by adding those sorts of things to the presentation. The visuals are fine. I can see what it is that's going on for the most part. A lot of reading. That's the delivery issue that Amber was talking about. All right. And the ending also seemed a little bit abrupt, although I do think you've got an exit line there The reason I think it feels abrupt is because of the way it's delivered. So that'll be something that you'll want to work on. All right, thank you.